Welcome back again to another Words of Hope pastoral conversation. Today's chat is about overcoming our fears. We'll springboard into the topic from 2 Timothy 1:7, where it says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." This scripture sees the older Apostle Paul mentoring his young friend Timothy, who found himself with leadership responsibilities way beyond his youthful years, pressures that could have well induced anxiety in the young man. Now, according to the World Health Organization, since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a 25% increase in the prevalence of anxiety and depression worldwide. That's a heck of a lot of people. 25 in every 100 on top of existing cases. Now, it's not to be unexpected when we've been fed an incessant diet of fear, lockdowns and separation from our loved ones. In reality, though, anxiety disorder has been on the rise for a long, long time. It's a mental health disorder characterised by feelings of worry, anxiety or fear that are strong enough to interfere with our daily lives. Many people find themselves stuck in debilitating life narratives. Cycles of despair choke them, and while some people hide their anxiety pretty well and manage to cope, others lock themselves away from the world in self-isolation, often powerless to apply rational thought to their predicament, and are overwhelmed in their self-absorption. For some, their life is a living nightmare of outward pretense and illusion, whilst on the inside they are crushed by their broken and dislocated emotional parts. Many end up requiring clinical and medical interventions in order just to survive. Some live in abject defeat, resigned to inevitability. They remain trapped in their cocoon of anxiety, believing that nothing can ever be better for them. Well, can life be different? I suggest there's a way forward, perhaps different from what you imagine. Listen as I read the same text in an expanded Greek translation from the Amplified Version. It says, "For God did not give us a spirit of timidity or cowardice or fear, but he has given us a spirit of power and of love and of sound judgment and personal discipline." That is, abilities that result in a calm, well-balanced mind and self-control. God has actually given us something. The problem is that many of us don't live in the reality of that gift. I suggest that the key to overcoming our anxieties and our fears and uncertainties is to reckon or agree with or live in the reality that what God says he has done for us is true. Is true because he has declared it to be so for those who trust him. God says it, I believe it, that should settle it kind of relationship. Sadly, many people have never come to that place in their lives of full surrender to what God declares is true for them. Consequently, they remain trapped in their cocoon of anxiety and fear. Now let me take it back a bit to a place where it can all begin for us. There is a point when this God-us relationship can start. Jesus came to his disciples on one occasion when they were huddled in fear, saying, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you, not as the world gives. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." Then on another occasion he said, "Come unto me, all you that labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart. And you will find rest in your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." This is where it becomes hard for many of us. We would much rather battle our way through life than trust Christ to live his life in us through the Spirit that has been gifted to us. As a consequence, we flounder in a quagmire of our own making when we could have peace and rest and the benefits that Paul speaks of in our text. Perhaps as you have been listening today, you have been stirred to respond. You may be thinking that what I'm saying makes a fair bit of sense. If you feel that way, then maybe the following prayer might be something you could consider praying. And you can personalise it. It's a long prayer, but let me go through it. Hey God, I don't really understand all this God and faith stuff, but I know I don't like the place I'm at. In fact, I'm fed up with it. The uncontrollable fears, the anxieties and emotional paralysis I feel, I don't like it. It's a struggle for me to survive some days. I want the peace that Jesus offers my broken heart. I invite you to come into my space and do for me what I can't do for myself. Change my thinking, empower me, and give me the ability to make sound judgments about my life in the way that your scriptures describe can be for me. Thank you, and I choose to live in faith, not fear, from this day forward. Now the point is, we don't need to be crippled by fear. We just need to reckon differently and to start afresh. This is a very different way of understanding anxiety. And I don't want to diminish your circumstance in any way, but in many respects we have a choice to either live in the dungeon of despair and despondency or sit in the place of rest that God has given us and wants us to enjoy. Now, I know if you've struggled with anxiety for a long time, you may still need help to track your way through your difficult moments. If that's the case, then please seek professional help, or feel free to give me a call and we can have a yarn sometime. A burden shared is half the load. My number is on the screen if you want to call me, and feel free to do so. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk again next week. Until then, God bless. Bye.